Hey everyone, welcome to How to Graph Quadratics in Vertex form. The vertex form of a quadratic is y equals a times the quantity x minus h squared plus k. This is Nicholas JMV, so let's go ahead and get started. So our first example here is, let's graph y equals -3 times x plus 2 squared plus 4. So the first thing we want to do is we want to identify, and we look at a. So a is -3, so this parabola is going to open down, okay? So we know that the parabola is going to open down. Okay, so now we have to identify the vertex hk. So h comma k is going to be equal to this. Now if we rewrite this in general form, it's a times the quantity x minus h squared plus 4. So what you want to really identify here is, notice how you're going from a minus to a addition sign. The only way to do that is if you subtract a negative. Okay, so the vertex here, and you got to be really careful, is that your vertex is going to be -2, and I put that in red, -2, 4, comma 4. There's the vertex. So I'm going to go ahead and plot that. So -2 up to 4, which is right here. Okay, you can draw your axis of symmetry through this if you want to, but it's not necessarily needed. So I've got the vertex. Now I got to find a couple other points. Okay, so this constant here, you got to be careful. Unlike standard form, this is not the y-intercept, so be very careful. Okay, so we look at finding two other points, and I'm actually going to look at this value of a, just like I did in the standard form video. I'm going to think of -3 times some number squared. Okay, now what happens if I went 1 to the right of that? Well, I'm going to go ahead and plug in 1, and notice I get -3. Okay, so that means if I go 1 to the right, I go 1, 2, 3 down. Okay, and then I get the same thing on the other side right here. Okay, now I have enough to draw my parabola. If I went -3 and I went 2 to the right, I would get -12. So if I go 2 to the right, 1, 2, and I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, I get another point. And same thing over here, 2 down, or 2 left, and I get the same output right here. Okay, it doesn't matter if I plug in -2 or +2, you're squaring it, it's always going to be the same. So here is my parabola. I can go ahead and draw this in. Okay, there's my parabola that opens down. So that's how we graph a parabola in vertex form. We're going to do one more here for you. Okay, so let's look at our example. Let's graph y equals 2 times the quantity x minus 3 squared minus 1. So a is positive, so this parabola is going to open up. Okay, our parabola should open up. Okay, now here's what we're going to do. There we go, we got our focus back, sorry. Our a value is 2, so our vertex is going to be 3 comma -1. That's our vertex. Okay, notice how the sign is subtraction, so it's 3 -1. So I'm going to go ahead and plot 3 -1. So we're going to go 3 -1, which is right here. Now this parabola is going to open up. You can draw the axis of symmetry through if you need to. Okay, now I can look at that 2 and think about 2 times some quantity squared. If I go 1 to the right, I get 2. So if I go 1 to the right, I go up 2 right here, 1 left and up 2. It's the same thing whether it's positive or negative that you plug in here. So what happens if I went 2 spots from the vertex to the right? I would get 8, right? 4 times 2 is 8. So I'd go 1, 2 to the right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I can go 2 left, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and I've got my general parabola here. I can try to go ahead and sketch this. It keeps on going. And so there is my parabola that represents y equals 2 times the quantity x minus 3 squared minus 1. Okay, and that's just a shortcut method we used to do that. So if you have any questions or comments on how to graph these, let me know. We'll see you next time.